Good morning students. So today is our second lecture from the first unit and today's topic is earthquake. So let's start. These are points to be discussed, in which the first point is what is an earthquake, what are the terminologies associated with the earthquake, classification of earthquake, seismograph, seismogram, and what are the impacts of earthquake on the environment. So first of all, what is an earthquake? Earthquake is a sudden vibration of the earth's surface by rapid release of energy. Or we can simply say that earthquake is a form of energy of wave motion which originates in a limited region and then spreads out in all possible directions from the source of region or from the source of disturbance. In this video, we can see the energy is released when two masses of rock move suddenly in relation to each other along a fault. So, by which the friction is generated between the two rock masses and which is spread out in the form of wave motion or in the form of energy. So, we can say earthquake is a vibration set up on the earth's surface ranging from a tremor to a wild motion due to the sudden release of energy which is stored in the rock beneath the earth's surface. Or it is just a energy of wave motion which originates in region where the energy is spread out in a possible direction from the source of region. So this is called earthquake. Now, so what are the terminologies associated with earthquake, which are as follows: the focus, epicenter, seismic waves, magnitude, intensity, and isoseismal lines. So we can see them one by one. So first is focus. So what is focus? The focus is a point of origin of earthquake within the earth crust is called focus. And from the focus, the earthquake waves radiate in all directions. We can see in this video, this is focus and the motion waves radiates in all possible directions. This is called focus. It is also called as hypocenter. And then the epicenter. So epicenter is a point laying vertical above on the earth's surface and directly above the focus. So in this video, this is a focus where the motions radiate in all possible direction, and just above the focus there is a point which is called the epicenter, which is present on the earth's surface. So this is called the epicenter. So in the epicenter, the shaking is most intense. The intensity gradually decreases outwards. As we go outwards the epicenter, the intensity of the motions or the energy is gradually decreases. So in this video we can see this is focus where all the radiations moves or travel in all possible directions, and just above is the point, it is called epicenter. This is focus, and these the concentric lines is called isoseismal lines or the wave motions. This is fault scarp and this is the fault line. Now what is seismic waves? So during each earthquake, elastic waves are generated at the focus are called seismic waves. They travel in all possible directions with their characteristic velocities. So, what are the seismic waves? There are three major types of seismic waves. The first is P wave, it is also called as primary waves, and the second is S wave. This is also called as secondary wave or S waves, and the third wave is surface waves. So, there is a differentiate between the P waves and the S waves. So, both P and S wave have high frequency and short wavelength, but the P wave travels or move in a longitudinal motion, whereas S waves travel in a transverse motion. We can see in this diagram the P wave travel in a longitudinal waves motions and the S wave travel in a transverse motion in like this. So, and the P wave can pass through both solid and liquid, but the S waves cannot move through the liquid, but it can passes through the solid. And P wave move forward and backward as it compressed and decompressed, whereas S waves moves in all possible directions. And now the most important part is the P wave is fastest and the S waves is more slower than the P waves. So that means P wave is faster than the S wave, due to which the P wave arrive first to the seismograph or seismo station, then the S waves, and the S waves arrive second after the P wave. So this is two P wave and S wave. Now we are talking about the surface wave. So there are two type of surface wave, that is L waves and Rayleigh waves. The L waves is also called as love waves. So the L waves displacement is parallel to the free surface, whereas Rayleigh waves displacement is perpendicular to the love wave displacement. L wave is faster and Rayleigh wave is slower, and L waves causes horizontal shifting of the earth's surface, whereas Rayleigh waves move in circular motion. So the surface wave or the L waves and Rayleigh waves are the causes or responsible for the damage or the destruction on the earth's surface during the earthquake. Now we can see in this diagram and we can differentiate on the basis of structure, damage structure. This is the P waves and this is S wave and this is the surface waves. Now magnitude and intensity. So what is magnitude and intensity? So the magnitude is a measure of the energy released during the earthquake, whereas the intensity is measure of degree of damage or the destruction caused by the earthquake. Both are different terminologies on the basis of their energy and on the basis of the damage and destruction. Magnitude is the measure of energy released during the earthquake, whereas intensity is the measure of degree of damage or the destruction caused by the earthquake. Now on the basis of magnitude, this method was first used by Charles R. Richter in 1935, who developed a scale of magnitude for local use on the basis of study of earthquake in California. So this is the Richter scale, in which this is Richter magnitude and this is earthquake effect. In Richter scale there is a range from 2 to 0 to 8, and we can examine or we can identify the damage or effect of earthquake with the help of these magnitudes. If the magnitude happened between 4 to 5, then we can say the walls crack. If the magnitude of the earthquake are happened between the 5 and 6, we can say that the furniture moves, and so on. This is called the magnitude scale, which is developed by the scientist Richter and called a Richter magnitude scale. Now we are talking about intensity scale. So the first intensity scale is proposed in 19th century by the Italian scientist Rossi and the Swiss scientist F. Forel, which is known as Rossi-Forel intensity scale. So this is the Rossi-Forel intensity scale, where the intensity happen in 1 to 10 digits. We can easily understand or determine the intensity of the earthquake on the basis of these scale, on the basis of these digit. And the other scale is also proposed by the Italian seismologist, that is G. Mercalli, in 1992. After the modification, this scale is called modified Mercalli scale, or just in simple way MMI scale. This is very famous scale of intensity. So this is the intensity scale or MMI scale. We can see level of earthquake instrumental and detected only by seismograph. In this intensity scale, the intensity gives in 1 to 12. In Rossi-Forel scale, there is only intensity gives in 1 to 10, but in the Mercalli MMI scale, it's give in 1 to 12. So on the basis of their instrumental or the energy shocks, we can determine the intensity of the earthquake. If it is 8, then very strong. If it is 12, then it is catastrophic. So this is the intensity scale of the earthquake. So don't be confused. Magnitude and intensity. The magnitude scale is called Richter scale, whereas intensity scale are of two types. The first is Rossi-Forel scale and the second is MMI scale of intensity. So now isosysmals or isosysmal lines. So the line connecting point of equal intensity on the ground surface are called isosysmal lines. Isosysmal lines is the line where the equal intensity on the ground surface are connected. It is called isosysmal lines. It is just like this. We can see in this video, and if the focus is the point, the isosysmal lines in circle, but if the focus is a line or in a transverse line, then the isosysmal lines are elliptical. It is just like that. And in this diagram, we can see the motions and the wave radiate in a concentric manner. This is called isosysmal lines, which connect the equal intensity point on the ground surface. So next is classification of the earthquake. So there are two type of classification, classification 1 and classification 2. In classification 1, the earthquake are divided on the basis of their mode of origin, and in classification 2, the earthquakes are divided on the basis of their depth of focus. So we will start from the classification 1. The classification 1, which is divided by the mode of origin into 3 groups, that is, first is earthquake due to surface causes, and earthquake due to volcanic causes, and earthquake due to tectonic causes. So the earthquake due to surface causes may be generated by landslides and collapse of the roof of underground caverns. These are very minor earthquake. But the earthquake causes due to volcanic, in which volcanic eruption also produce earthquake, and the earthquake are generally very feeble or generally are violent. And if we're talking about earthquake due to tectonic causes, then the earthquake are most numerous and usually the most disastrous. They are caused by shock which originate in the earth crust due to sudden movement along the fault. So, along with these, the earthquake caused due to tectonic is most dangerous and disastrous. Now, classification of two. The classification of two, which on the basis of their depth of focus. So there are three types of earthquake. The first is shallow focus earthquake, second is intermediate focus earthquake, and the third is deep focus earthquake. So the first is shallow focus earthquake, in which the earthquake having depth of focus about 55 kilometers, whereas in intermediate focus earthquake the depth of focus it's about 55 to 300 kilometers, and in deep focus earthquake the depth of focus is about 300 to 650 kilometers. So on the basis of their depth origin, the earthquake are divided into three, that is shallow, intermediate and deep, and these are the ranges of their depth of focus. Now, what is seismograph and seismogram? So seismogram are the instrument which detect and record the earthquake waves. Most seismographs contain a heavy weight suspended from a support which is attached to bedrock. This is a horizontal setup of seismograph, and this is a vertical setup of seismograph. When waves from a distant earthquake reach the instrument, the inertia of weight keep it stationary. While the earth and the support vibrate, the movement of earth in relation to the stationary weight is recorded on rotating drum. Some seismographs detect horizontal motion while others detect vertical motion. This is horizontal motion and this is a vertical motion. The traces of the earthquake waves is usually recorded on a traveling photographic paper as a series of zigzag lines. These are the zigzag lines, and these recorded of the wave motion is called seismograms. So we can easily seen in this diagram. This is a P wave, this is S wave, and this is the surface wave. It is look like a ECG also. And as we know, P wave arrive first, then the S wave. So this is the P wave and this is the S wave, and after that it is a surface wave, which are responsible for the causes of damage and destroy. Now, next is impact of the earthquake on the environment. So there are so many impact of the earthquake on the environment. The list is so long. So first is loss of life and property, damage to transport system, that is road, railways, highways, airports and marine, damage to infrastructure, channels, chances of floods, chances of cracks in dams, chances of fire, short circuit, communications such as telephone wires are damaged, water pipes are also disturbed, economic activities like agriculture, industry, trade and transport are severely affected. These are all important and highly affected impact of the earthquake on the environment. The tsunami. So what is tsunami? tsunami is also an earthquake, but it is happen or it is formed in below the sea floor. So tsunami is a huge sea waves generated by earthquake on the sea floor. They cause heavy destruction in areas lying near the seashore or the coastal areas. So the tsunami have wavelength are great as 200 kilometers, and they can travel at a speed of about 800 kilometers per hour. It is a most fastest wave of the tsunami. So if we are talking about the tsunami, so in 2004, 26 December, there was tsunami which affected in India, Indonesia, Maldives, Sri Lanka and Thailand and so on. So the tsunami approached the shore and the sea withdraws and then it rushes and back in a series of huge waves that travel far inland and cause the destruction. So this is a type of earthquake but on sea floor. So in this diagram we can see these are the plate movements, these are fault line, along which the two plate movements there are friction happen. Due to the friction the wave bulging towards the coastline. So this is our tsunami. These are few pictures which showing the affected area by the earthquake. This is from the Latur in 1993, where the pictures of search and the rescue team, and in this picture it is the epicenter, it is from the Kashmir. The epicenter or the earthquake happened in 2005. This is from the Kashmir and this is the disturbed area showing the epicenter. And this is the picture from the Bihar in 2008, where the huge building collapsed due to earthquake. So now summary. So in this lecture we have studied the earthquake, which is a sudden vibration of the earth surface by rapid release of the energy, and the energy is spread in all possible direction from the source of origin. And the terminologies is focus, epicenter, seismic waves. So the focus is the point where the earthquake is originate, and the epicenter is the point is just above the focus and where the radiation of the waves spread in all direction. This is called epicenter. Now the seismic waves, there are three types of seismic waves: P wave, S wave and L waves or surface waves. P wave is faster than the S wave, and P wave is move or travel through both solid and liquid, whereas S wave cannot travel in solid, it can move only in liquid. And P wave arrive first, then the S wave, and after the P wave, S wave is arrived to the seismogram. And then tsunami. Tsunami is giant or huge wave generated by the earthquake on the sea floor, and it is can be travel at a speed of about 800 km per hour. And the seismograph and seismogram. The seismograph are the instrument which detect and record the earthquake waves, whereas seismogram is a record which connect or which record the seismic waves, that is P wave, S wave and surface wave. And after that, on the basis of magnitude and intensity, we have magnitude scale, that is Richter scale, and the intensity scale, that is Frost Froissart scale, and the second is MMI scale, that is modified Mercalli scale. So these are all these information about the earthquake. So thank you.